All right, namaste. This is Stephen Sadler with the Self-Awareness Institute, and we're now at lecture number 8 in Vettatri Maharishi's discussion on simplified Kundalini Yoga and the science of Kundalini Yoga, which is really the science of the self. It's about who you are and why you were born. So I want to engage you with the reality of your own being. I want to take you out of just your mind and understanding, opinions and beliefs, and take you in to a visceral realization of the true nature of yourself. We all know that there's something making our own heart beat. We can give it a different name: innate intelligence, life force, spirit. But we all know we have it. But what is it? How many of us really know the underpinning of our own being? What animates us is us. Without it, we'd be dead. You could look at a corpse, still got a cell structure, still has a brain, but no life force going through the brain means it's not alive. It's not a being anymore. It's not a soul. It's not a spirit. So the essence of our own being is spirit. We're spiritual beings in a human body, mind vehicle. And so what's really happening is our true self is already realized. This lecture 8 is called Self-Realization. And Swamiji would explain how the true self is already realized. What is really occurring during self-realization is only that the mind, which has had a very heavy investment in its own idea of who it thinks you are based on your likes and dislikes, your positive and negative experiences in life, the particular matrix of thoughts and experiences that molded you and developed your personality and your character and the way you look at the world and yourself and life. All that is typically what people identify with as being themselves. And yet, we know there's something more. So what is that? So today's discussion is self-realization. And I want to invite you to come into this discussion with me as a meditation. So let's step out of our day. Let's step out of the past and our imagination of the future and come into the present moment and be fully present to that which brought you to being here. I mean, what is that that's been coaxing you and guiding you to read certain books and take certain courses and study and perhaps even teach? Think about all the things you've learned. Think of all the things that you've become aware of. Think of how much change has occurred in your life. There's been an instinct, an intuition, a guiding mechanism that has guided you through all these life experiences, and it guided you to be here, to be listening to me. So I want to invite you to meet me. Meet me halfway. Just meet me spirit to spirit and soul to soul. So the body's present, the mind's attentive to what's being said, but really the listening is even deeper than the mind. There's some instinct in you I want to connect with, some spirit that you are that I want to engage. So it's not just your mind and body. So I invite you to look within yourself and ask yourself, well, what brought me here? What part of me wants to learn and grow and evolve and realize my full potential and realize myself? What part of me is listening and watching? Well, the same part of you is listening and watching, is speaking through me and transmitting. We're all being guided by spirit. And there's this massive movement in the world of people that are beginning to wake up. They're literally developing a sixth sense, as Swamiji puts it. And so you are at the head of this bell curve of humanity that is enlightening. And so that's part of the shift that occurs in your brain. That's part of your own enlightenment, is one, realizing there is an enlightenment, realizing that you are enlightened, realizing that there's more to realize. And once you realize there's something to be realized, your realization has begun. Hence, all of you are in the midst of a realization that we're all having together. So take a deep breath and connect with the life force in your body and the intention, we'll say, the love that is guiding you to find Him, to go home, to find yourself, to realize God, and ultimately to find happiness and peace. It's right here just waiting for you. It didn't go anywhere. It's not out there. It's right here. So we're going to engage that today, and then we're going to do the aura expansion exercise. It's going to get you high on God. It's going to give you a God buzz. It's literally going to move so much energy and love and spirit through your body that you go into ecstasy. And so breathe in, and I invite you to connect with a part of you that knew to be here today. For that which you are seeking is causing you to seek. We always want to begin by acknowledging. It's kind of like stepping out of our mind and all the processes of thought, and all the wants and likes, and so forth. Attractions and aversions, which is what the mind does most of the day. What you want to do is step back, become the observer, and realize, okay, I'm waking up in this moment. I'm part of me that can observe my mind is no longer subjugated by my mind. Now I can lead and direct my mind. So this is what's distinguishing you from most humans, is the ability to transcend the trammels of the mind and senses and enter into higher states of consciousness. So now over these 8 courses, your energy should be shifting. And as you practice this meditation every day, starting with the third eye meditation, you should feel the electromagnetic fields between your hands getting stronger each time you meditate and whenever you think of me or if you connect. And this is the path of the siddhas. This is what Shaktipat is all about. This is what helps awaken the Kundalini and brings you into the presence of God like immediately, instead of having to try and beat the mind into submission or dull your senses. And peace is nice, but bliss is better, is what I would say. And there's a state beyond all states, and that's where we're heading. So take a deep breath and check in with a part of you that knew to be here to watch this. And now go ahead and find a place to sit down if you haven't already. And I advise you to close the doors and create a sacred space. It's really your state that precedes your meditation, makes such a difference on your meditation. And if you come in with your heart open, your mind open, with bhakti and devotion, with humility and realizing it's through grace that we enlighten. So I invite you to call upon our Creator, call upon the Lord. I just say, Lord, help me to be a pure vehicle for your love and light and wisdom. And as you're sitting, you can put your hands on your knees. You can interlace your fingers together or bring your index finger and thumb together in the Chi Mudra. But that's not as important as where you're focusing. You always begin by focusing here at this point between the eyebrows. And so as I'm speaking to you, just imagine the energy is moving into your third eye. And this just helps activate it. Just like two people exchanging information can help change moods and other kinds of energy in your body. These subtle energy shifts, you're going to develop a true proficiency and then mastery over not only the subtle energies in your body, but the subtle energies around you. And this is one of the gifts of the siddhas. This is what a siddhi is, the ability to tune in to what is manifesting, to tap in to these universal principles and be guided by them and to fulfill your destiny. And this is where you're going to find true happiness and peace, when you really see what's going on. And so right now, your brain is beginning to realize that you are not your mind. So let's step out of our mind. I invite you to unbutton all your desires, all your fears, all your resistance, and just leave it on an imaginary floor and close your eyes, and in your mind's eye, picture you're disrobing from all your sense of personal self, is the metaphor here. And you're also kind of letting go of your day. It's kind of like when you go into the jacuzzi, it's finally, So everyone take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, make the primordial sound, and just feel yourself kind of letting go, and this is going to be good. We're just going to sit in the jacuzzi and kind of cuddle up with God. And imagine now you're stepping into the hot tub. Use the metaphor of the jacuzzi or the hot tub so that your mind invokes that sense of relaxation. You don't have to try to relax in a mineral pool or hot tub. It just happens. And so create that state in your mind. Use this as your metaphor to help introduce the meditation, and it'll invoke a relaxation response. So we're using a little NLP here. I want you to breathe in and gaze into your third eye. Close your eyes. And now, as you breathe out, just again, imagine you're stepping all the way to the bottom and bending your knees and letting your torso soak into the warm water, and feel that warmth being absorbed into your muscles and tendons and bones, and kind of scan your body. Where's the tension? And as you breathe in, draw that life force and draw that love. So we're sitting in a jacuzzi of consciousness, and just this floaty feeling, this loving feeling is bubbling up inside. And you're just breathing in and absorbing it in, taking it in. That's all it is. It's through grace. It's really just connecting with the divine that's already present within you. And as you breathe out, there's a sense of letting go. And so let your shoulders drop. Let the tension in your neck and head relax. Just don't try to do it. Rather than trying to meditate, we always want to allow ourselves to be meditated. So just breathe in as if the sound of my voice is massaging your brain, and feel the tension moving out of your neck and shoulders. And as you breathe out, just roll your eyes up, gaze into your third eye, and completely relax your effort. And just observe the sensation or the energy in your body as I'm speaking to you, and we reflect on the nature of ourself. So this is another tool, the path of Gyan. Jnana Yoga is the path of introspection or direct awareness, where it's really an advanced form of yoga, another aspect of Vedanta or Advaita Vedanta, where we look at the non-dualistic underlying essence of all that is. There's an interconnected wholeness of being. There is a consciousness that underlies everything that is existing, from which everything arises out of, is sustained by, directed and guided by, and ultimately everything merges back into, whether it's an atom, a molecule, a cell, a living being, a planet, a sun, a galaxy, or a universe. All these things arise out of apparent nothingness or emptiness. They're all sustained for a certain period of time. They're all changing. They all manifest and take certain patterns. Swamiji would say pattern, precision, and regularity. And so there's a natural order that arises out of these systems coming together, creating increasingly more complex systems. So we're a part of a universal intelligence. We're a part of like a cell in the body of God is the example I like to use. We think of ourselves as an individual, but we're not. Our mind identifies because its functions are all related to this particular vestment we think of as a human being, but our true nature is that of a spirit. So I want you to breathe in and connect with the spirit. As you sit here in the jacuzzi, feel it in your nervous system, feel it in your chi, feel it in the electromagnetic fields around your body. Feel it in my voice, and now feel it connecting between you and me. Bring your hands up if you'd like. This just makes it easier to tune in. Your hands are like little antennas. You're used to feeling things in your fingers and palms. And so think of this, and again, it's part metaphor, where but you are quite literally beginning to plug into energy. It's transmitting 24/7. But as you have the presence of mind to tune into me, and spirit works with me and through you, we create a circuit, a loop. There's a connection. So this is like a radio broadcast, and you're just tuning in. So the practice of the siddhas is to learn and to tune into your own energy, to learn to tune into the energy of others, particularly the teacher, and to learn to tune into the energies around you. And as you do so, you begin to see the invisible hand that is guiding everything. You begin to see the life in everything. You begin to see the presence of God in everyone and in everything, everywhere, all the time. And that's how you enter into the kingdom of heaven. It's when you're able to step out of the trammels of the mind and senses, and that's what makes it transcendental. It's when you move out of the projection of the mind and all the neurological activity in your brain, and that sense of consciousness that was looking at your mind like it was looking at a computer or watching a TV show or a drama, probably, right? A movie. I don't know what plays in your head, but we're playing projections. We're playing either memories from our past or imaginations of our future most of the time. This has been studied. And most of the time we're not in reality. Most of the time we're in some mental process that has totally engaged our awareness. It's streamlined it, and that creates our sense of individual self. So as we expand out, as this or expansion exercise we'll all do together today, it helps our energy and awareness move beyond the physical confines of the body. Because a part of your awareness is in your body, and a part of your awareness is not in your body. And we have a sense of that. But the true nature of our being exists whether there's a physical form to conduct it or not. You see what I mean? We are like leaves on the tree of life. We all look like individuals, but we all draw our life from the same source. We're all essentially the same kind of creature or expression of the divine. But what we really are isn't just a leaf. A leaf really isn't a thing in and of itself. It's a part of a greater living organism we call a tree. And each of us is part of a greater living organism, not only of humanity, not only of the Gaia or the earth, but of the universal intelligence itself. The universe is alive. It's a living being, and that's what God is. And so we are a part of this greater living being, and it's hard for most brains to conceive that any more than it would be for, say, a skin cell to conceive of a human existence. its own senses and experience are all related to its own little world within our body in this case. In the same way, we don't have experiences on other planets and other parts of the universe or other planes of existence typically. But through these exercises, your awareness is going to expand beyond the time-space dimension. You're going to learn to move not only into other parts of this universe, but to other universes. And I will be your guide. I'll take you there. I'll take you into other states of consciousness. There's other worlds that aren't even in form. Matter of fact, there's a state beyond a state where there's no states. And that's ultimately really where we already are, but your mind needs to remember again. That's what we just need to draw it there. So breathe in and enjoy this trip. So if we look at ourselves, we can say, okay, there's who. Swamiji says that it all begins when we ask this question: who am I? So everyone breathe in as you look in your third eye and just say, who am I? Bring your hands down if you haven't already. Who am I? And not just who am I personally. I mean, you can say you're a boy or a girl, a man or woman. You can say you're an American or an Indian. You can say you're a Christian or a Hindu. You can say you're whatever, but all you're doing is putting labels and on the imprints. You're not really addressing what you are innately, and you're not looking at yourself from the perspective of your purpose in existence. It's just a matter of the packaging and programming you have in your brain. And so at this point in our study, what we want to make really clear in our own mind is that we are not our own mind. We are not our mind. We are not the composition of what we think and feel. If we feel angry or sad, it's really just something going on in our brain. It's not us. It's a function of a tool that we have. And so if you can keep that awareness, you can stay in a transcendent reality that gives you the ability to use your tools, including your brain, and to be able to discriminate in the sense of seeing reality, seeing the presence of God in everyone and everything, seeing why things are happening, having that wisdom and that intuition. So breathe in and feel that energy in your body again. Feel our connection and feel yourself being lifted up as I'm speaking to you, and ask yourself, who am I? So there's the physical part. There's also something called the brain or the mind. And as we've addressed before, it's kind of like a computer with carbon-based chips we call neurons in our head. But it has energy. It moves through places where data is stored, so we can access memory. Just like in your brain, we can computate and most of the other functions, including our vision. Like our eyes are digital camcorders and our ears are microphones, and we're storing data of what was just said. So you can remember it and go, who you just said, what was that you just said? And if I asked you, what did I just say? You'd say, well, you just asked me what you just said. Because somewhere in your mind, that energy was stored. But the whole time, there's another part of you observing whatever your mind is doing, whatever you're hearing, whatever thoughts occur, knows what you're getting or not getting. And so we always want to step back from the mind and observe the mind and realize that thoughts are only movements of electrical and chemical energy through fields of neurons in our brain and through this cerebral spinal fluid that our brain is floating in. So signals are bouncing back and forth in your brain. That's what it's identified with your whole life, so it thinks that's me. And you identify so much with what you believe, and you identify so much with perhaps what you like or what you don't like, or what you think should or should not happen, or who God is, or whatever. And all that is a bunch of neurological activity. It really doesn't matter in the end, except to the degree that your mind can align with the divine will and connect to the source itself. And then spirit can use your mind to help you fulfill your life purpose. So let's breathe in and ask yourself, well, then who am I? So this is the question. I want to invite you to ask yourself this every day for the next week. Who am I? And maybe write out your answers in a journal. Think it through. Let it matriculate in your mind. So you have the tangible aspect of your physical body. You have this less tangible aspect of the brain and mind and thoughts and feelings are seen to be related to the chemicals that are secreted, the serotonin and dopamine in our brain, as an example. But is that us? Is that what we are? We're just a bunch of functions? Am I the sum total of the functions that have been downloaded in my brain? Am I the emotions that I feel? Am I this body? Is that what I am? And what are any of these things without the life force to bring them to life? You see? And we don't even know that part of ourselves. It's the part most people know the least. They don't really know themselves because they don't know the spirit that they are. So what we're realizing in this moment even is that we are that spirit itself. So breathe in. So if you look at your physical body then, say, well, this at least I know. I got something tangible here. This is, I can feel it. I senses help validate it's real. We validate what is real through our senses, and the mental activity that results is from the stimulation of those senses. So our eyes see something, our fingers feel something, our ears hear something, and these things come together. It gives us an impression. And all this I explain in my book, The Theory of Existence and the Science of Consciousness, if you want to go into the details. But the gist of it is this. You are not the sum total of the composition of neurological activity that either has occurred or that your mind remembers. These are just biological functions, but there's always been a consciousness. And that's the part we want to look at. That's the part we want to get in touch with. So let's start to get to know it. We can simply look at our physical body. We can say, okay, well, we've got all these different parts that work together. And all of them, so there's solids, there's liquids, there's gases, there's some kind of energy. We can look at it from the elemental structure. Who am I? I'm all these elements. And they were all made in a star. So the actual ingredients that compose your physical being were actually stardust. They were actually manufactured through a star and then disseminated through a nebula through what's called a supernova, an explosion of a massive star. It sends the heavier and lighter elements out, and they come together. Their masses come together, forming planets and moons. So you have the stardust composition, and then what's even more fascinating is it became you through eating. First through your mother's milk, and then through other plants and animals. You took on their molecules and atoms. And their energy too, by the way. And it moved into your body and became your body. And then if you look at it even deeper, if you go into the cell structure and you say, well, every part, whether it's skin or bone or muscle or tendon or brain tissue, it's all made up of little cells. Cells you can't see with the naked eye, but with a good magnifying glass or microscope. Look different shapes, and they usually stick together, forming groups like colonies. Kind of like early life forms did, like bacteria, or just simple life forms. We're all cell composites. And within that we have molecules. And with that we have atoms. And within that we have positive and negative and neutral charges of atoms. We have protons and electrons and neutrons. And of course the protons now, they've learned that they even have smaller substructures, the quarks, the gluons, the hadrons, and so forth. And all of these we see as one component that's repeated over and over again. So if we look within ourselves into the very underlying essence of our own being, we see first of all that there's latent potential and a patent expression. Something appears to arise out of nothingness, and it takes on a certain form or direction, a movement that creates a change. So like Einstein said, nothing happens till something moves. Well, this initial shift creates an apparent differentiation. This expansive force is contrasted to the contractive force. Expansive, contractive, centripetal, centrifugal, yin and yang, positive, negative. So we see from whatever point something arises and expresses out of, there's this expansive or positive charge, and to whatever point that appears to be differentiated from the whole, there's always a source, a relationship back to the source. And that contraction, that coming back, that negative, that yin, forms then a pattern. And within the two, a field is created. And the field will hold the pattern. The pattern creates the character of that particular system that defines how it functions, how it lives, so to speak, or how it exists. So at an atomic level, it exists in a very rudimentary sense. The expression of consciousness outward and back forms at the simplest level. It would be a hydrogen atom. You have positive and negative. You have a proton and an electron. And then you may end up having 2 electrons or 2 protons or 3 electrons and 1 proton, or any different configuration of positive and negative. But the point being, at the very essence, in the very innermost depth of our own being, when we look at the physical expression of ourself, we see consciousness and expression beginning to form patterns, like a primordial sound of creating form, creating a structure like the blueprint. And those vibrations get encoded. They form the RNA and DNA in our cell structure. So you go from the atoms with their positive and negative, their attractive and repulsive forces. They draw together other atoms, forming systems of atoms, like colonies of atoms, and we call those molecules. The molecules they have their own character. They too have the attractive and repulsive forces. They too have a positive and negative energy. They too have a current that runs through them that creates a certain pattern, almost like a signal, as the energy moves through this molecular structure. And that pattern is held in its configuration and repeated, passed on to others. It too has attractive and repulsive forces. It has a field around it. So we're seeing how systems of organizing intelligence go from just a very rudimentary like circuit to a multi-circuited system like a sophisticated computer. And then you keep going from the molecular level into forming of the amino acids and protein chains and nucleic acids and so forth. You see, you start creating like super systems, like cities of systems. And that forms what is essentially a cell. And the cell too has an intelligence, doesn't it? It too is an expression of the divine. It too stores a memory. It eats and eliminates waste. It communicates with other cells in a very rudimentary level. And they can adapt to changes in their environment so they can learn and grow and evolve. And we all have, as individual cells and collectively as species, particularly in human beings. And so the essence of our being at a cellular structure, you see, we see the same process. There's a positive and a negative charge running through a cell. The certain configuration, there's a pattern, which we call the RNA, or its pair, the DNA, is holding a configuration of molecules that has a certain rhythm or beat or pattern as the energy runs through it that communicates exactly how that cell is to be shaped and what kind of functions it will perform. And so there's this innate intelligence that is expressing itself through our cell structures, and then through what it has manufactured, such as a heart or a limb or a lung. So at the very essence of your own being is this consciousness that is seeking expression through increasingly more articulated forms, all the way into a human being. So human beings then, over the millennium, have evolved. We've evolved our brains. We've actually developed more brain mass. We've evolved our intelligence. We've become more conscious. Just in our lifetimes, those of you that are watching this, look what we've seen in our lifetime. Yoga is now international. In the 70s or 60s, when I started practicing, it was kind of rare. And now yoga is in every major city in the world. And the point being is people are looking. Some are just looking for greater health, but that may be the next step in their spiritual evolution, as it typically is. So we have come to this age where individuals are beginning to realize the true nature of their self. We're becoming self-realized in mass. And these tools are going to help you more than any other that I know. And so I want to invite you to practice the meditation every day. Come to the Self-Awareness Institute, or the World Community Service Center, if you have one in your country, and learn the practice of Kundalini Yoga and meditation, and learn the Jnana Yoga and develop the Bhakti Yoga and the Karma Yoga, so you can be a true yogi. So everyone, self-realization, see it as something that has already occurred, but is building momentum in your life, knowing that mastery lies ahead. So breathe in. Your true self is already realized. Feel that energy again in your nervous system and feel it in your chi. What do you feel right now? Okay, so we talked about energy. We've talked about fields. And just like there's a field within our cell structure, there's a field around our body, there's a field around the earth, and the intelligence and the patterns are held within the field. There's also a field around the sun and the solar system. There's also a field around the galaxy, and there is a unified field, Swamiji would call it, around the entire universe. And there are multiple universes within the mind of God, which is infinite. Everything that is manifest is only a modification of a previously existing state. And all states are ultimately fleeting, temporal, and not ultimately real. What is real is what is unchanged, undifferentiated, infinite and whole within itself. And that is the consciousness itself. So for your consciousness to expand beyond this very narrow aperture, that you might think of your brain as like a telescope, it's very good to narrow your awareness down to a very small focus. But what we want to do now is start expanding our awareness outside of the sensory perception, outside of what you physically see or hear or taste or smell or sense, physically or emotionally, or could cognitize, that you're beyond what your brain could understand. So don't be too attached to your brain and senses. You still have them, and you'll be able to work with them. But I want you to be able to expand beyond the realm of mind and senses. So just be okay with that. Just know that it's natural and it's healthy. It's actually very good for you to develop an expanded awareness. And what you'll begin to see is you are a part of everything that is. You'll see yourself in everyone and in everything, everywhere, all the time, because you are the consciousness itself. So for this next exercise, we're going to be doing some expanding and some breathing. The first part is the prana. As you know from the other lectures, we draw in this electromagnetism of the earth. So this toroidal field coming out the North Pole, around the earth, back up the South Pole. And this toroidal energy moving back up. Just like in your spine, your Kundalini energy comes up, out the top of your head, around, and back up the tailbone. Then back up the spine, up, out, around. So you're enveloped in the cocoon of light. So is the earth. So is the solar system. So is the galaxy. So is the universe. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be expanding our awareness field and energy out and then coming back in. So we're going to kind of check in to what's out there and then check back in with ourselves. And then we're going to expand our awareness out and check in again. And then we're going to come back and check in with our body. So we're going to be kind of integrating the awareness so the mind can kind of get used to feeling what's outside of it. And I'll be right here with you. This is really fun. Always remember you're protected and guided by the divine in all your activities, day and night, in all places. Swamiji taught perhaps hundreds of thousands of students. I've taught tens of thousands. I've never heard anybody that's had a problem with this. So you never have to worry. So I want you to breathe in and just feel nurtured, loved, and supported. And as you breathe out, just let go of all fear, trepidation, or in any sense of doing it right, or getting it right, or something happening. Don't worry. You're protected and guided. Breathe in. And feel the prana. Feel how your body is absorbing the life force energy. And feel your connection with that life force energy. For that which causes life within you is you. So allow your mind and body to feel that as you inhale. As you exhale, just feel it flowing through you and around you. Now, it's going to help if you sit up towards the edge of your chair, because what I'm going to have you do as you're breathing is you want to be able to flex. You don't want your back resting on anything when you do this meditation, because the breathing helps cycle the cerebral spinal fluid and open up certain chakras. And make sure you always want a limberness in the spine when you're cycling your Kundalini energy. And so it'd be good to sit where you can pivot on your hips. And when you inhale, try and keep your shoulders back and let your belly expand and your head come up. So you always inhale through the nose, and as you exhale through the mouth, contract your belly and come forward slightly. Then inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And so that creates this flexing that cycles the cerebral spinal fluid, which your whole nervous system is soaking in the sac of cerebral spinal fluid. Your whole spinal column is within the sac of fluid that conducts your electromagnetism or biomagnetism, similar to how a battery conducts electricity in a cell. And so we're going to get it pumping. So the first thing you want to do is squeeze the Muladhara chakra, like when we do Shanti. If you ever needed to ground yourself or get back in your body, if you're getting too buzzy and needed to sleep, you just come down to the root chakra. So everybody squeeze your anus Squeeze the pubococcygeus muscle, specifically between the pubic bone and the coccyx bone, just above the perineum. There is a little muscle. You'd have to stop. You'd have to contract this muscle to stop a bowel movement or a urination. So just contract and release, contract and release, contract and release. So this kind of primes the Kundalini. If you ever need to ground, if you're ever on your menses, if you're ever sick, this is a good way to just kind of come back into your body and give it some strength. Now, we're going to be doing a series of breathing in and pulling the energy up to the top of our head, and then exhaling down and bringing it down to the tailbone. I want you to inhale and imagine you're pulling a light from your tailbone up the spine, from Muladhara, Svajasthana, Maniparam, Anahat, Vishashuddha, the Ajna Center, all the way up to your crown. Exhaling, follow the light back down. So in your mind's eye, just picture this light moving down the heart, down the spine, all the way down to your tailbone, and then root into the ground. Feel yourself connecting with the earth. As you inhale, again, pull the energy up through your legs and your buttocks, and from your tailbone, picture the light being pulled very slowly, one trachea at a time, one vertebra at a time, up through the heart, up through the neck, all the way up to the top of the head. And then as you exhale, go ahead and picture this light coming back down again, all the way down to the tailbone. Inhaling up. Does that feel good? Now this is going to heat your body up. Part of my job is to push you. Picture the light coming all the way up to the crown, and then just pausing at the end of your breath. Pause and just feel the energy there. Then exhaling, come back down. Inhaling up and draw the light. Use the light so your mind focuses on the sensation of the energy moving up the spine, all the way up to the crown. And then exhale and come back down. So in the beginning, you kind of focus on the breathing to make sure you're inhaling and exhaling correctly and expanding your belly, and that you're rocking. So you're engaged, you're active. This is a yoga exercise. Inhaling, a pranayama. Pull that light up through your belly, up through your heart, up through your neck, all the way up to the top of the head again. Exhaling. So we're controlling the breath, counting down, down, down. And sometimes if you count to 6 or 7, say, and then pause at the end of your breath. Then inhale, come back up. Exhale and come back down. So this is going to start opening things up for you. This is the warm-up. Inhaling and pulling up. As you're inhaling, just picture the light flowing up through the heart, all the way up to the crown. Pausing at your crown. You're still gazing at your third eye, but in your mind's eye, you're picturing now the light coming down the spine, rooting in at the tailbone. Breathing in again. And this energy is building inside you now. It's getting stronger with each breath. As you pull in more magnetism, it is activating your field. It's intensifying the current of energy. The Kundalini is getting stronger, and exhaling down. And I'm going to start to pick up the cadence of the breathing. So I want you to inhale up to the crown. Exhale back down. So we got everything kind of warmed up. We're going to start kind of like from a stretch to a jog. I want you to inhale up to the crown. Exhale all the way back down. Inhale back up to the crown. Exhale and go back down. Inhale, go up to the crown. Exhale, come back down. This should feel good. It may start releasing. Inhale. Come up, exhale, come back down. Releasing tension, emotions. If you laugh or cry, that's okay. Just let it out, but keep moving through it. Inhale and come back up. So this is a cathartic exercise. It's going to open up and release imprints in your body. Exhale back down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now when I want you to inhale this time, I want you to come up above your head, maybe 6 inches or so, then 12. And then come back down into the skull and down the spine and root back down. So it's almost like you took a little astral projection. Just inhale up and out through the top of the head a little bit, hovering maybe a foot above you. Just imagine you stood up, say, even though your astral body stood up. Now come back through your crown and root back in to your tailbone. Inhale back up and above your head. And just for a moment, picture yourself, extend both your energy, so your auric field is extending up higher and expanding out wider. Exhale, come back down, a root in. Inhale, expand up. Come up above your head. Just for a moment, just float there. Get an idea of what the room is like from that place. As if you had 360-degree vision, and then come back down, root back in. Inhale and come back up above your head. Exhale and come back down. Inhale and come back up. So I'm going to pick up the cadence again. Exhale and come back down. Inhale and come back up above the head. Just pop up for a moment. Then step back into your body, root in at the tailbone. Inhale and come back up. So we're flushing a lot of energy through your body now. You're picking up a lot of Kundalini. Exhaling, come back down, root in. Inhale up above your head. Come back down, root back in. Inhale up, root back in. Now I want you to inhale up above your head and go another foot or so. And then exhale and come back into your body. Inhale and come back up and extend up another foot above that. So maybe you're, I don't know, 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet. Come back down, root back in. Inhale and come up another 6, 7, 8. Go all the way up to the ceiling. And then come back down into your body, root back in. Inhale and just project your awareness up to the ceiling. Exhale, come back into your body. Inhale and project up to the ceiling. Exhale, come back into your body. Inhale, project up to the ceiling, and just imagine you're floating there for a minute. Looking down over your body in the room. Come back into your body, root in. Inhale, come up to the ceiling. Exhale, come back down. Now this time I want you to go up to the ceiling and go beyond, through the roof, into the sky, and then come back into your body. Inhale, go up and out, up into the clouds. Exhale, come back through the roof and into your body. Inhale, go up and out and through the clouds and above the clouds. The jet liners fly and come back through the clouds, through the roof and into your body, root back down. And then inhale again. So we're pushing you and expanding you. Push higher and higher up to the stratosphere. Look at the satellites flying around and the earth below. Come back to your building and into your body and root back down. Inhale and expand up and out all the way to the moon, like a space shuttle orbiting the moon. Then come back to earth, back to your town, back to your building, back to your body, and root back down. Inhale, go in and up and out beyond the solar system so we can look at the sun and planets from a distance. Come back to earth, to your body, root back down. Inhale, go in and up and out into the galaxy. Come back to the earth and your body and root back down. Extend in and up and out. Expand beyond our galaxy, deep into space. And then come back into it, into the sun, earth, body, root back down. In and up and out. Extend out to the depths of the universe as far as you can imagine. And then come back to earth, come back into your body and root back down. Inhale, push yourself. This is where the growth occurs. Push yourself and extend in and up and out, farther and farther and farther to the ends of the Big Bang, to the ends of time, space, energy, and matter. And then come back into matter, into your body and root back down. Inhale and go in and up and out. Let's go out into the infinite, the potential, the void. And then come back into matter and mass, into your body and root back down. Inhale in and up and out again into the Godhead, the emptiness, the bliss. Then come back into your body and mind and root back down. Inhale and go in and up and out. Come back and root back in. Go in and up and out, and then root back in. Go in and up and out, and then root back in. Go in and up and out, and root back in. Go in and out, and breathing in and out, and push yourself in and out, and in and out, and in and out, and just let it all go. Let everything go. In and out, and in and out, and in and out, and now come back to your skull. Feel the top of the head, and then bring it down to your tailbone, and just feel the energy in your body. Imagine the light within your spine, kind of like a fluorescent light, kind of curvy as your spine curves, but just imagine there's a light glowing in the center of your spine. So by extending out and coming back in, extending out, up and down, what that does is it cycled the energy and it connected you to some of these primordial life force currents and the awareness that's conducting life. So close your eyes and just tune in for a minute. Feel the life force within you that is you. Realize this. And now we're going to change the breathing pattern. And you're going to like this a lot. So stick with me. This time we're going to inhale. And as we're breathing in through our nose, we're going to just imagine that we're expanding the energy. And it's expanding out from the center of our spine, out and filling our body. And then as we exhale, we bring our awareness back to the spine. So we're just staying connected with the Kundalini. And then inhaling and expanding out and feeling the field energy throughout our body. Exhaling, contracting back to the spine. And then I'll push you out farther into your room, into the neighborhood, into the universe, and so forth. So sit up straight, take a deep breath, and as you breathe in, expand the energy out and just feel the energy filling up your body. And then as you exhale, come and contract back to the spine. The aura expansion meditation. This is excellent. You're going to love this. Inhale. And feel your energy and awareness expanding out through every cell and around the body, maybe several inches around you. There's a filament of light. And as you exhale, go ahead and shrink your awareness back down into your spine. Inhale and expand out. 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 inches around your body. So you're expanding your body 6 inches in all dimensions, all directions, and then shrink back to the spine. So both the energy in your body and the awareness in the field being created are expanding. So I want you to be mindful as you inhale of expanding out now maybe 12 inches around your body. And just imagine your entire body enveloped in a cocoon of golden white light about 12 inches thick all around you. Then exhale and contract back to the spine. And then inhale again and expand out 12 inches. And then again, contract to the spine. Inhaling through your nose, but pushing the belly out. Inhale and expand the energy out and feel this golden white light extending out 12 inches around you. Exhale and contract back into your spine. Again, inhale. So we've warmed you up. Now we're going to pick up the cadence and the cadence again. Contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand. Contract to the spine. Inhale and expand. Contract to the spine. Inhale and expand. Contract to the spine. Now inhale and expand out 2 feet around you. And contract as you exhale back to the spine. Connect with your life force. Inhale and expand out 3 feet around you. Exhale and contract down to the spine. Inhale and expand out 4 feet around you. And then contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand 5 feet around you. Exhale and contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand 6 feet around you. And contract and bring your awareness back to the spine. Expand out 9 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet. Back to the spine. Expand out and imagine your awareness is now touching all the walls and the floor and the ceiling. And then contract back to the spine. Expand out to the whole room. Just be aware of all the space and all the possessions and any living things, and then contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand out and fill the space of the room you're in and feel all the things within it, and then contract back to your spine. And now inhale and expand out and move your awareness through the walls and the floor and the ceiling, and then contract back to the spine. And now inhale and expand out through all the other rooms and throughout the entire building you're in, and then contract back to the spine. Now inhale and expand out and move off your property line into the neighbor's buildings, and then contract back to the spine, and we bring love and peace wherever we go. And expand out your awareness now and let it go down the block or down the street and around your neighborhood. Contract back to the spine. Inhaling, expand out through several streets in all directions, filling up your neighborhood essentially, and then contracting back to the spine. Inhale again through the nose and be mindful of your awareness expanding out through the entire city town. Contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand your awareness out into the neighboring cities around you and all the people. God bless them. And then contract back to the spine. And feel your love and awareness in this higher consciousness expanding outward through all the cities in your county or region. And then contract back to the spine. And now inhale and expand your love and awareness. Expand it out throughout the state or province that you're in, and then contract back to the spine. And then inhale again and expand out even farther out into the state. Contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand out through the region, multiple states and provinces. Contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand out through your nation. Contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand out through your hemisphere. And now contract back to the spine. And now inhale and imagine your love and awareness is extending out through all of humanity, all the flora and fauna, penetrating into the globe and out into the atmosphere and your whole world. You're just aware of the living presence of the earth. Contract back to the spine. Let's do that again. Inhale and expand out. And just imagine your awareness was merging into that innate intelligence of the earth itself. The master intelligence running all the life forms on the planet. Contract back to the spine. Inhale again and connect with the innate intelligence. Feel it moving through all the different parts of yourself, all the animals, all the plants, all the minerals. Contract back to the spine. And now as you expand out, envelop both the earth and the atmosphere and move out to the stratosphere. And then contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand out farther still, and this time enveloping the moon. So just imagine the moon was within your field of awareness, along with the earth and all the other orbiting bodies. And back to the spine. And inhale again and expand out even farther, including Mercury and Venus and Mars. And contract back to the spine. And as you inhale this time, expand it even farther, all the way from the sun out to Pluto and the asteroid belt. Contract back to the spine. And this time as you inhale, I want you to expand it way beyond our solar system, enveloping Sirius and other neighboring star systems. Say hello to all the other intelligent life forms out there and come back to your spine. Breathe in and expand out again. And move out, encompassing millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of stars, and then contract and come back to the spine. Expand out to the ends of the galaxy. Feel its breadth and depth and all the millions and billions of stars streaming and being created. Contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand out beyond the galaxy, beginning to become aware of other galaxies in our vicinity, in the local group, and then contract back to the spine. And now inhale, expanding out in time and realms of space that are unimaginable. Just project your awareness out into millions and millions of galaxies, each with billions of stars. And now there's billions of galaxies. And contract back to the spine. Let's do that again. Inhale and expand outward, 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 including billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of galaxies, all with billions of stars. Contract back to the spine. Inhale and expand out again. Let's go all the way. Let's go out beyond the realm of time and space and energy and matter. Let's go beyond the boom, beyond the realm of the physical universe. Contract back to the spine. Inhale again, expand your awareness out, enveloping the entire physical manifest universe and what lies beyond it now, and farther, infinitely. Come back to the spine. Inhale and expand out, 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 out into the infinite, into the infinite, into the latent potential, into the joy, the peace, the love, whatever your mind ascribes to this presence. Come back to the spine. Inhale and go out. Exhale, come back. Now we're coming near the end here. I want you to push. Inhale and go out into the emptiness. Come back into your body. Inhale and go out into the feeling. Come back into your body. Inhale and go out and come back in. 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 And now you can reposition yourself so that you have some back support if you need it. Keep your eyes closed and just dissolve into the feeling. Feel the energy in your body. Feel your spirit body and just become your spirit body. Be as you are. Thou art this. Realize this. What state are you in? Just observe where you are right now. Just be aware. And in your mind's eye, picture a dot. Visualize what looks like a star in the distance. Just one in this emptiness. And as you approach it, you see its time and space itself. And within this crystalline sphere filled with billions of inclusions of light, as you draw closer, you see that each of those is a galaxy. And let us enter into this realm of time and space again. So just imagine the universe and go deeper within it and imagine our own Milky Way. Imagine in your mind's eye the whirling cloud-like cluster of stars that we call our galaxy. And at the end of one wisp, one arm of the swirling vortex, is our little sun. So just imagine it as you might see the sun from the space shuttle. And from space, then look back on the blue pearl. Look at the earth and its beautiful white clouds, and come closer to the earth until you can find your region, and then come close enough that you can find your city and your neighborhood, and then come down and find the building you're in, and then come through the roof back into the room, slip back into your body, and observe the sensation at the top of your head. Of all of you. Feel the love, feel the joy, feel the peace, feel the interconnected oneness of your own being. Feel how your fields are intricately intertwined with all the other fields. That we are one in consciousness, expressing in many forms. That you're always connected with the divine is always guiding you, and if you ever get lost, you just come back here. This point between your eyebrows is your compass. The map is stepping back from your mind, like you're putting your brain down on the hood of your car and looking at it. What is here? And you just look at it objectively as the witness. These two tools alone will change your life. So breathe in and see yourself awakening. See yourself becoming more conscious every day. See yourself catching yourself going unconscious. See yourself meditating every day, going deeper and deeper. Picture this in your mind's eye, the enlightenment. And now let's send this love to those you love. Send it to your mother and your father and your children and your pets and all your other relatives and friends. And anyone else that needs it too. May you all be protected and guided by the divine in all your activities, day and night, in all places. May you all enjoy good health, long life, prosperity, happiness, and peace. And may the whole world live in peace. Just picture a world where everybody felt love. Picture the new age where there's an enlightened world. And everybody gets what we're getting right now. Let's just share this feeling with everyone. Take a deep breath. And let's just close by filling the world with what we feel right now. Just send your light out into the world. Go ahead and rub your palms together. Palm your eyes. And then bring your hands down as you exhale. Slowly open your eyes. We'll do it again. We always do this meditation on our retreats. It's a favorite. I look forward to seeing you again. This is Stephen Sadler, Self-Awareness Institute, selfawareness.com. Come join us. Come play with us. God bless you.